A war has upended 7 decades of global order. The rules of engagement are being rewritten, and it's against this backdrop that the Indian Prime Minister is visiting Europe. There are 3 stops on his tour. It starts with Germany. Prime Minister Modi began his engagements in Germany today. The next stops are Denmark and France. What's on the agenda? And what is India hoping to get from this outreach? In the next few minutes, that's what we'll discuss, starting with the question, why now? Why is Prime Minister Modi engaging with Europe now? Europe is at war. Russia has invaded Ukraine. India has been doing a tough balancing act. It was supposed to have been pushed in the corner. It has, in fact, taken center stage. The war has created opportunities for engagement, and that's why the Indian Prime Minister is in Europe. He landed in Berlin yesterday. He was greeted by members of the Indian diaspora. Today, Prime Minister Modi of India held talks with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz. This is their first meeting since Scholz took office in December. The Prime Minister went into the meeting with a power-packed delegation. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. They were all part of today's meeting. The leaders discussed a range of topics. They signed 9 agreements too. One of them is the Green Sustainable Energy Partnership. But from their press statements, it became clear that it was Russia's war in Ukraine that dominated the discussions. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi reiterated New Delhi's position. He highlighted how India was working to mitigate the impact of war.
हमारा मानना है कि इस युद्ध में कोई विजयी पार्टी नहीं होगी, सभी को नुकसान होगा। इसलिए हम शांति के पक्ष में है। ह्यूमैनिटेरियन इंपैक्ट से भारत बहुत ही चिंतित है। इससे विश्व के हर परिवार पर बोझ पड़ा है, किंतु विकासशील और गरीब देशों पर इसका असर और गंभीर होगा।
What about Germany? How does Olaf Scholz see India's position? The German Chancellor did not criticize India, but he says he wants India to do more.
Through its attack on Ukraine, Russia has violated fundamental principles of international law. The war and the brutal attacks against and on the civilian population of Ukraine show how unrestrained Russia has been in violating the fundamental principles of the UN Charter. Thus, I repeat my appeal to Vladimir Putin: end this war, end this senseless killing.
No lectures from Europe for a change. Later today, Scholz will have dinner with the Indian Prime Minister. What else did the leaders discuss today? A possible trade agreement between India and the European Union. Prime Minister Modi said that some progress has been made. The German leader acknowledged India's progress in tackling climate change. He also brought up the extreme heat wave in India. The 2 sides agreed to work together towards tackling the climate crisis. Now, these may all sound like routine statements, but this engagement with Germany is significant. This country is a key European power. It is also a traditional conservative player. Germany is hosting the G7 meeting next month. It wants to use the event to build an alliance of sorts, an alliance to isolate Russia. And Germany is inviting India as a special guest to the G7. Others on the list are South Africa, Senegal and Indonesia. The pitch is quite simple. Let's join hands and isolate Russia, which is fine, but it's pointless till Germany and its European allies keep bankrolling the Russian war. What's the point of statements and sanctions and criticism when you're paying Russia millions of dollars every day? Well, that's Europe for you. The Indian Prime Minister's next stop is Denmark. There he will hold talks with Prime Minister Frederiksen. And he will attend the second India-Nordic Summit. Leaders from Iceland, Finland, Sweden and Norway will also be there. A range of issues are up for discussion. The list includes the Ukraine-Russia war, post-pandemic economic recovery, climate change, technology and renewable energy, a whole host of things. The Prime Minister's final stop will be France. And this, again, is extremely important. Modi will be the first international leader to visit Paris since Macron's re-election as president. Their partnership has been strong and solid. India and France could influence the outcome of the war in Ukraine. They have lines of communication with both Moscow and Kiev. And apart from Ukraine, they're expected to discuss China's aggression in the Indo-Pacific and key defense and security matters. And this includes the delivery of the Rafale aircraft. The trade deal could also be taken up for discussion. France will have the presidency of the European Union this year, so this makes it even more important. And it could determine the outcome of the negotiations. Like I said in the beginning, this is the start of a new chapter. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.